I like your hat face.
My hair is so bad.
We're not one of those organized, super organized YouTube channels. This is reality, guys. You yourself can do this.
And I'm not very super precise. Like if you're one of those people who like puts a timer on your noodles, that's not what I do.
No, we're more the like throwing the spaghetti at the wall kind of people. Both of us.
You can see when it's done. Okay.
So yeah, exactly. Is there still white in the middle? Cook it longer.
What does it taste like?
Hey everybody, thank you for submitting your videos of your little gardens.
Hello, busy, scattered, normal, cool people.
We're so excited to see how everyone is growing some food.
Awesome people planting seeds.
If you want to submit more videos of updates, we'll definitely post them in upcoming videos.
Everybody can grow a little bit of food. It doesn't matter what your space is or how much you can grow, but putting a few seeds in some soil is really therapeutic, and you can grow a little bit of what you want to eat.
We just want everyone to know that you too can do this, no matter what your situation is, whether you have a backyard or not. Everyone can grow a little food.
You can really use whatever materials you have for containers. I really like to reuse plastic containers, milk jugs, whatever I can for free. I also save all of my seed trays from one year to the next so that we can reuse them and don't have to buy them again.
So full of lettuce!
Lettuce. Yes, these are cabbages. Milk jugs. So you cut them and don't cut on the handle side. The handle's like hinge. You do have to poke holes in the bottom too, which is a pain. I had a better tool to do this. I used like a skewer before, but you can poke holes in them and don't poke yourself. As long as you have a couple holes, then the extra water can drain out. I got this giant bag of peat moss. I put a little peat moss in the bottom because the seed starting mix is expensive, and peat moss is really cheap, but it holds the moisture. It's very dusty because it's not wet yet. So this one is a moisture control potting mix. They also have seed starting mix, which is even better. It keeps from getting moldy on top. Garden soil or topsoil or something like that, you can get mold on the top.
So then we flood.
It's so good. You know, it really does need to get really wet though, because the peat moss takes in a lot of moisture. And if you don't get it wet, then it's just sort of like a
Okay, so step one, put in the peat moss that absorbs a lot of moisture.
Yep.
Step two, put in the mix that's like, no, moisture, go away. So does that seems like it's at cross purposes. Explain.
Works though. No, the stuff on the surface though, just it prevents the mold growing.
Okay, so it's okay that there's moisture. We just don't want mold.
Yes. Soupy
mud.
And usually I get these ready and then I let them set for a little while. But we're just gonna do it. This is black seeded Simpson, and these are last year's seeds, so we're gonna go a little crazy heavy on the seeds because their germination rate might be a little bit lower than when they were newer. So I seed a little bit heavier and don't worry about it, because really in the grand scheme of things, the seeds are the cheapest part of the whole process. And I just sprinkle them on, and then I look at the package and it says 1/4 of an inch deep, and then I'm gonna put these extras back in the package.
Very precisely.
Yes. And then I say that's about 1/4 of an inch of soil. And then I take this, and I forgot my duct tape, but you take this, take your duct tape, and you just tape it shut. Yeah, that doesn't work because it's old. And then you can tape all the way around, and it's like a mini greenhouse. do want the top open to let out the, let in a little bit of air, but you can see some of them are coming. And you can use whatever. Okay, this is an old vinegar. And you don't need a greenhouse to grow plants. You can also grow them in your windowsill. With these little mini greenhouses, you can set those right outside. They just get started a little bit later when it's cooler. I sowed in these ones at least a month ago. So, and then that's when we get all of the lettuce. And I can transplant these right into the garden. But the other option is to take them and transplant them into another container. Lettuce does not need this big. You're gonna waste soil with that. This is for tomato, because it's something with a bigger root system.
Yeah. Okay.
Your lettuces, if you have lettuces in these little things, that's totally fine for them to get big enough to transplant out to the garden. For us, we are 6 weeks before the last frost date. 5. So you can plant lettuce outside right now. But
What is right now? It's
right
like
now
April.
It's April
18th-ish?
Nobody knows the date anymore. All right, so this is one way that we can plant these. So then I write right on here, we got lettuce in there. It's good. So we'll put that one aside because that's ready to grow. The tree I chose is leaky. These ones are all together in this space, so they're not going to grow well like that. So I'm just going to
Use your scissors.
Yep.
It's the precise.
Yep. I use a butter knife when I'm doing tomatoes, but I am just gonna separate them out. I'm gonna bury them down a little ways. And I try to be tender with their roots, but really, I started so many of these that if a couple of them die, I'm not gonna be sad.
If they perish, they perish.
I'm the ultimate like seedling saver, because usually the ones that are close together, some people tell you to just, you gotta cut them off so that you can be kind to one of their roots and cut the other one off right at the ground level. And I was like, no, the poor babies. Look, that one is looking really good.
Yeah.
Some of them are gonna be good, and some of them are maybe gonna die. That happens. Just move on, get more.
One of the things that I try to do is expect 50% of what I plant to die. And then when less than that dies, I feel like I'm doing really well.
Then it's happening. These are
my lettuce. So many.
She feels like she might be able to share a little bit with Mom.
Only a little bit.
So I'm putting them in a alternating pattern to give them a little space. You can direct sow lettuce right into the garden about a month before last frost date. There's lots of resources for last frost dates and timings of when to plant what for your specific zone.
I'm gonna make salad with the stuff I grow in my special garden. Broccoli.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's so much broccoli that the world should fill with it. Put them this cabbage too.
I like to start things inside so that they have a little jump start before they go into the garden. It just makes it faster so that we can get the lettuce ready and get it harvested and out of the way and ready for our next crop. So we'll probably do another crop of lettuce in the same place. Watering, we are putting on a lot of water to make sure that the seedlings get off to a good start. Carrots.
Ooh, I want help.
Okay. We're gonna plant these down here. Spread them every couple inches.
I don't know what inches are. I don't know how big they are.
We're doing it every couple centimeters. Way too much. Put more farther down.
I need more.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're just doing one little section. Okay, now you just do this a little bit. Do that.
I'll do that.
Yep.
You do this. Doop, doop, doop.
That's a mound. You're supposed to make it even.
See, James and Tim garden the same.
Very precise.
What?
You and Daddy garden very similarly.
Carrots are really hard to seed accurately. Basically, I just accept that they're going to be too close and we're going to have to trim. You can't transplant root vegetables like beets and carrots because the root part is the most sensitive part. When you transplant, that tends to get disrupted. Peas and beans. Peas are a great early spring crop. You can direct sow peas right into your garden. They say to wait till the soil temperature is about 50 degrees. So some places will say as soon as you can work the soil, you can put your peas in. But if you direct seed them into as soon as you can work the soil temperature is going to be too low for them to germinate, and then your seeds can just rot. Also, what I have learned in my garden, in my particular situation, is that if I put seeds in the garden, the chipmunks will eat them all before they germinate. So I put a tray of pea seeds inside the greenhouse or inside the house and let them germinate. So they're only inside for a week or so, just until they germinate, and then they're ready to go out into the garden. Beans are planted very similar to peas. Pole beans, bush beans, they're very easy to plant direct sow outside. You want to do it closer to your last frost day because beans like a lot warmer weather. Squash, zucchini, and pumpkin seeds, so all of the bigger seeds.
Winter squash, I don't even know what this is. Table princess. Apparently I like the description.
So they're all planted the same.
Yes, all planted the same. Big seeds. They go down a little bit deeper. So with the lettuce where I just sprinkled it on top, that's not going to work. You can take your seed and you're going to put it in twice as deep. So if the seed is this big, it's going down twice as far as that.
So I'm big into making sure there's enough water on your seedlings and seeds to get things started. And this tray I got very juicy. A little bit less water would be good. Also, if you pre-moisten your soil, that means water it and then let it sit for a little while. That's helpful in letting the moisture kind of even out. There are several things to help make tomatoes a little bit more successful, and one of the best things is potting them up or transplanting them several times, because you can bury part of the stem when you pot it up, and then that way you're going to get a lot more stronger root system.
I love using these for tomato starts because I know I'm going to pot up my tomatoes multiple times. Because they have cones, you would use less soil in here, which is great to help you conserve your soil, because you'll fill these with a whole lot less soil. The disadvantage is you really got to watch the water, and because they dry out quickly because there's not a lot of soil in there.
Could you put them in a tray with some water?
Yeah, so you put them in.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
And the tomato seedlings are surprisingly hardy. I always break a few or lose a few, but they take to being handled pretty well.
I had just planted them in this plain tray like this, and now they're ready to be potted up. So I just grabbed them, okay? So you got your roots. These are the seed leaves, and they don't actually need the seed leaves anymore. They're gonna turn yellow and get rid of those. You don't have to get rid of them, but they don't need them. And we want to put soil all the way up as far as we can. Hopefully they're gonna go in here. And I'll put them down all the way to the bottom. And then I'm gonna put the soil all the way up around. So now, instead of all of this, we have this bare stem from here to here. That's all in there, and it's all going to turn into roots. And that's going to give you a stronger plant when it goes outside. They'll stay in these little pots, and then next time when I put them in the big pots, I'll put it way down, and then, because it'll get tall in here, and you'll have bare stem again, and then you want to put them way down again. So you'll transplant them more than one time. So I take these half-gallon milk cartons or juice cartons, cut them in half, poke holes in the bottom, and then very good for, I just took out my tomato seedlings out of here.
Cool.
So they just, because you can get them all together, so neat in a row.
So neat.
And they're free. And these, I mean, they did okay in that tray all together. You can individually seed them, like that other little tray I showed you. But for me, it's too much work to individually seed each one of those. So I put them in the big tray.
Also, I always tell my kids that when they're growing and they're under your grow light, you always want to pet the tomato seedlings too, because it stimulates them to grow stronger. So you can put a fan that blows on your seedlings to help them, so that they're going to have more like their environment when they get outside, so that they get stronger. Adversity can make us stronger.
Stronger tomatoes.
So you can, when you plant them, you can lay them down when you plant them outside too, and then they'll get more roots, and then they'll get fruit faster.
I love it that there's so many different ideas, all kinds of different ways to make plants grow. There's a lot of different theories, which is sometimes overwhelming. Really, there's a lot of different things you can try and just do what works for you. Ultimately, the seeds are going to try to grow, so they're not quite as fragile as we might think they are. The plastic milk jugs that we used and we cut in half for seeding can also be used to protect your young seedlings when they get outside from colder weather. You always want to have a vent at the top, or a hole at the top though.
All right, we do milk, half-gallon containers. I save everything that plants come in. These are, I don't even know what those are. Your yogurt containers, small yogurt containers. Bigger yogurt containers, or salad mix, or anything that comes in a clear container. These are great because they have lids on them. Milk jugs, and any and all things that plants come in. Save it all. These little guys are gonna be good.
I think that's one of the advantages
For
of
planting as well.
baby back here.
The tomato seedlings are looking good. They're inside because it was 25 overnight. Brr. But they're all getting big. Here I am checking in on our seedlings that we transplanted. These are cabbage. Look at how healthy they are. They're so happy. They each have their own little space. Checking on the peas. Let's see. Oh, can't see them very good. Here we go. They look good.
As Phoenix Community Farm prepares for another growing season, we'd love it if you'd get involved with our mission. We want to provide education about growing, harvesting, preparing, eating, and preserving fresh produce to the world at large, while producing vegetables, fruits, and eggs to share with our community. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing our videos. And if you're looking for another way to get involved, we would love it if you would consider donating financially to support us today. Thank you so much.